Hello and welcome to Melomaniax, the podcast where we take unbiased deep dives into the biggest musicians and bands of all time. I'm your host, Ashton.
And I'm Dallas. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to be finishing up the 80s in our decade of music showdown that we've been working on for quite a few episodes now. We still have the 90s, thousands, and tens to get through. But today we're going to be finishing up part 2 of the 80s. Before we get started, please take a second, wherever you're listening to this, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a rating, give us a review, whatever you're moved to do. We would appreciate it. We also have a Patreon. It's $5 a month to get a lot of cool rewards there as well. You can check it out, melomaniax.com/Patreon. And with that, let's dive in. We left off last time on the first half of the 80s. So we did 1980 through 1984. I believe we determined, looking at my notes, that 83 took the cake for the best year so far in the 80s. However, today we're going through the back half of the 80s, and we're going to be starting with 1985. Right off the bat, January 1st. Imagine, by the way, you're tuning into this episode for the first time and you hear me say January 1st. You think we're going to go through every day of the January 2nd, not a lot. All right, January 3rd. No, just kidding. January 1st, VH1 begins broadcasting on American cable. That stood out to me, so I wanted to bring some attention to that. So the very first thing that happened in 1985 was VH1 started. How's that make you feel? How's that float your boat?
Pretty good. That means we're in for a good little era of music here going forward before it inevitably goes to shit eventually. But this will be the.
I think the 80s had a little something for everybody. That might be a good way to think about it, huh?
For sure. We were even talking about that before. I was like, we're going to start seeing hip hop, rap, R&B start to pop up a little more. It's kind of been dominated by either pop or rock for the past 2 decades.
Yes, 100%. It's like all classic rock. Like that was the pop of the time, you know?
Yeah.
And now we're kind of, and then as we moved forward a little bit from the 60s, you started seeing more pop and stuff like that. Now we're, I think, really going to start seeing a lot of different stuff as hip hop emerges and things like that. So let's get started right off the bat. What do we see here? I mean, Run DMC.
Yep.
Their second album came out.
Number 2.
Here's a little bit of the 80s metal thing continuing with Loudness, one of the bands that were part of the 80s metal scene from Japan, which is kind of cool.
Oh, interesting.
David Lee Roth's first solo album. If you look at that, he really does look like Michael Starr. Like Michael Starr really does look like David Lee Roth if you look at that cover.
Oh, yeah. Spot on.
And that's Crazy from the Heat. That's an 1985 EP, and that was his debut solo recording. So it was actually released while he was still the lead singer for Van Halen, although he parted with them several weeks later.
I was just about to ask.
That is not his famous one.
Yeah, I was just about to ask if Sammy was... What year does Sammy... I don't even know when Sammy joins.
I think he joined replacing David Lee Roth.
Like basically immediately?
I think so.
We might see that in the years coming up this episode.
Yeah.
Then.
Oh, there'll be Van Halen releases. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
There's your boys Yellow.
I just love the spelling of it, dude. David Hasselhoff.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah. look at that album artwork, dude. His debut studio album.
Night Rocker, dude.
I gotta go listen to that.
Hilarious.
Did he actually play guitar, or he's faking it?
I don't know. One thing we do need to keep in mind is moving through these years a little more steady.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, man, the music gets more and more and more. It's overwhelming, which is why I encourage you, the listener, if you're interested, if you're hearing something that like, oh my God, they didn't say blah, blah, blah. My favorite album came out in 1985. Let us know. We'll go back and amend it. Whitney Houston's debut, I almost said debut, drops February 14th, Valentine's Day. Nice, 1985.
Oh, I know that album based on the album artwork. I think she has some bigger songs on that one. How Will I Know?
Phil Collins' solo debut.
Phil Collins finally with his solo. I've been wondering when that was coming.
Sorry. Not his debut. I said debut. I misspoke. It's his third.
Third?
We saw one of his others in the last couple of years. So what's funny though is look at the art. Like all of his art is like that. It's like just his face.
Oh. Interesting. He's still crazy with Genesis though, I thought, because I feel like we've been seeing Genesis albums pop up alongside of him.
Did Genesis continue without Phil Collins?
I don't know. But I think they're both
We'll have to save that for the Genesis episode.
Yep. Okay, we have Tears for Fears second album.
And this is the one with Everybody Wants to Rule the World, I believe.
Yes, it is for sure. Alcatraz.
That's the band that Yngwie Malmsteen was in, although this album, if you look at it, is the only album to feature guitarist Steve Vai.
Oh, probably a banger.
Anthrax, their first EP. They're starting to show up to the party.
Velvet Underground.
Santana casually drops his 14th, like, yeah, I've been around.
Right.
Mick Jagger's debut solo album with, I mean, just...
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm looking at here.
Yeah, I mean... it's the
he's
only
laying
way
down
to
in a
say
bed
that.
like he's a teenage girl talking on the phone to her, a girlfriend.
Yeah,
and he's got like a bunch of makeup on.
Oh, Mick Jagger.
I think everybody knew Mick Jagger kind of swung both ways, though. I don't think that was a mystery. It was Mick Jagger, David Bowie, and who was the other one? That were all kind of like fluid with each other and like lots of rumors of them banging.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, because those two, Mick Jagger and Bowie, did a song together. I'm trying to,
Kissing.
And it was yeah, I was like, it was there was something going on there.
Eric Clapton's 9th solo album. Wow. Peter Gabriel, there you go. Birdie. The soundtrack to that's actually, sorry, his first soundtrack, 6th album overall.
Oh, okay. So
and it was for the movie of the same name.
Gotcha.
Never saw it. Probably not gonna, based on the album art.
John Paul Jones with another soundtrack.
There we go.
Well,
soundtrack from John Paul Jones, "Scream for Help."
Keep going here. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Southern Accents.
What's this? That's his 6th. Okay, wow. Bon Jovi, that's his 2nd. Rick Springfield, his 10th. All right, never mind. Slayer, I think that's their 2nd. It is. Katrina and the Waves. Nice. They're the ones that do I'm Walking on Sunshine.
Oh, I didn't know that. Nice.
Pretty sure. What if I was just absolutely wrong about everything I've ever said? That could also be true.
It could.
April 1st.
April 1st.
We Are the World.
Oh, that's right. We were talking about that.
And real quick, like, let me list out the people involved in this. Various artists is what it's credited as under the group name USA for Africa. And this is the lineup. Ray Charles, Bob Dylan, Michael Jackson, Billy Joel, Cyndi Lauper, Steve Perry, Kenny Loggins, Willie Nelson, Lionel Richie, Smokey Robinson, Kenny Rogers and Kenny Loggins, Diana Ross, Paul Simon, Bruce Springsteen, Huey Lewis, Tina Turner, Sheila E., Harry Belafonte, Lindsey Buckingham, Kim Carnes. I've never known how to say this name. Dionne Warwick. I think it's Dionne. Waylon Jennings, Bob Geldof, and Stevie Wonder. It was actually written by Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie.
Oh, okay.
So imagine that being like a touring band.
Dude.
Dude, imagine the writers and like the divaness you would get.
Yeah, I know, right? There's no way all of them would perform on stage every night together.
I'm reading a book, an autobiography from a like entrepreneur, famous poker player guy. And he's had a lot of run-ins with celebrities, in his time and made a lot of money and stuff. And he like kind of mentioned some little things here and there that like certain people did, like by name and stuff. And it's like, dude, yeah, they're all lying when they're all pretending to be humble. Like these are the most like spoiled, bratty people you could ever imagine. One of them was, I won't say the names of any of them, but like pitched a fit when an assistant handed her a card to go get food, and it was like a low-level Visa card instead of like a black card or something. Just stuff like that, where you're just like, really?
Yeah, dude.
And then they come out and smile like, we're just like one of you. Like, okay, gotcha.
Yep, we're on the same wavelength. Same.
Yep.
I get it.
So now I know that they're all. I mean, I always kind of figured.
I actually had that fit yesterday. I had that fit yesterday when I went through my credit cards and there wasn't a black card in there. I just threw a fit in the store right there. Started stomping my feet,
like stamping your feet.
Shit.
Yeah.
Started just destroying public property. Just doing,
just making my mental like shortcomings your problem.
Exactly.
Love that.
Yep.
Hey, I'm here now. I'm your problem.
All right.
That's a good way to make friends. Prince and the Revolution release Around the World in a Day. That's his 7th studio album.
And then Men at Work.
And that's
with
the
their
2nd
final
release, which is credited the Revolution, by the way.
That's right. Yeah. So Men at Work with their 3rd and final. So only 3 albums from Men at Work.
Wow. Right after that, Exodus debuts their first album.
Sweet. We got Eurythmics still going. Freddie Mercury, a solo album? Okay. The only solo album.
The only solo album. Wow. That's cool. Well, that might be worth checking out.
Yeah, I know. I don't think I've heard it.
I have not either. Striper, that's their second. Played with them on the Kiss Cruise. Bunch of weird guys there. Dire Straits' fifth. I love that resonator on the cover. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. I like that album artwork. It's good.
Robert Plant releases his third solo album.
Shaken and Stirred.
You know what we need to do? We need to have an episode. I'm going to mark this down. We need to have an episode where we go through the greatest solo albums from people who were in like the biggest bands. So their solo albums would never live up to their bands. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Because I don't think. Do you know any examples at the top of your head of any solo albums that actually did really well?
Yeah, there's a few. I need to think about it. And as far as the albums doing well, I don't know. But as far as like having hit songs, like Boys of Summer, like that was Don Henley outside the Eagles.
Yeah.
There's some examples, like Justin Timberlake, like
true.
where they leave and get bigger. Lionel Richie, I think, had a little bit of that. Michael Jackson certainly had that.
I almost want to say that Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel each became bigger after Genesis. But Genesis is really big.
I would say they like at what point do you outgrow the band you were in, you know? Like
yeah.
As far as fame, like you leave as Phil Collins, do your solo album, and then it's now you're Phil Collins, not just the guy from Genesis, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I associate both of them as solo acts, and I never really knew about Genesis too much. But then again, I'm too young for it, and they were both in their solo careers when I was young, so that might also have some influence.
Yep.
But yeah, sure. No, that'd be an interesting topic for sure.
That Robert Plant one made me think about that because it's like, you know, his solo career never got even close to Led Zeppelin. So
yeah,
I mean, that's kind of an impossible standard. But that's also me not having heard it. It's not to say it's worse. It's just to say it didn't perform as well. So it'd be cool to go back and listen and find the best songs and stuff like that. All right. Anyway, Night Ranger, 7 Wishes. That's their third studio album.
Got an EP by U2. Fourth EP.
Joe Walsh, his seventh. That album art's pretty intense.
So how long was
like
he
a Magic
in the
the
Eagles?
Gathering card?
Right.
He was already pretty famous after he joined the Eagles. Like he'd already done a bunch of solo stuff, a bunch of stuff with James Gang, and he joined for Hotel California. So he's in the Eagles at this point.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, dude, I just saw Black Flag, and I just want to play the game again.
Nice.
Kenny G with his third studio album. Nice.
Yep. We're moving on down into June now. June's a pretty busy month. 1985. Talking Heads. Little Creatures.
Nice. And then REM. Oh, Aha. I can't.
Oh, here we go. Aha. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
that's their debut.
That's Take on Me, right? That's them?
Yes. Yep. That's Take on Me.
But Take on Me was not on this one, I don't think.
I think it was though. Yeah, that looks like the album artwork that it's on. Yep, that's the first song.
Double check.
It is
nice. Yep, and they actually had a few others.
Yeah, not a bad album for a debut.
REM, Fables of the Reconstruction. Yeah. I mean, Aha, one of the biggest songs. Megadeth's debut.
Oh, nice. Killing Is My Business, and Business is Good.
Rat, Invasion of Your Privacy. I've always liked the Rat album covers. They're always like stylized photographs that look really cool.
That does look really interesting.
Now, then they slap the horrible Rat logo on top of it, and it sucks. But the art itself is actually really cool. Just being a hater. Sorry, Stephen Percy.
Oh, is this Sting's first solo album? It is.
Solo debut.
Yep.
The Dream of the Blue Turtles. Relax, Sting. All right, you know. Relax.
Chill out, bro. Oh, dude, Weird Al.
Motley Crue, Theater of Pain.
Motley Crue, Theater of Pain. Is that their second or third?
Yes,
okay, third.
Shout at the Devil was before that, and then that little EP before that.
Gotcha.
But so all three of those, I think Theater of Pain was the last one where they were just out of their minds on drugs. They have no recollection of making them. They're not good, like the band themselves admit. And then the next album they make, I believe, is Dr. Feelgood, and they all got sober for that one. And it ended up being a real successful album. Carly Simon, Spoiled Girl, 12th. All right, Jesus.
Moving in July, we've got Billy Joel with his Greatest Hits, Volume 1 and 2. And then
And AC/DC releases Fly on the Wall.
Yup.
I know all the AC/DC album names. I do not know what song is on what. Let's see what's on this one. Okay, well, nothing. Nothing that we know.
I love that the Back to the Future soundtrack shows up on here. Just various artists.
Nice.
What do we
Jeff
got?
Beck Flash.
Oh, interesting. Nick Mason and Rick Fenn. So Nick Mason being the drummer from Pink Floyd.
And it's 10cc guitarist Rick Fenn. This is their debut.
Profiles. Okay.
Nice. What else we got?
St. Elmo's Fire. It's funny, a bunch of famous movie soundtracks are coming out this year. But it's just always just a compilation of artists.
If you want to see the 80s, just in a nutshell, just mouse over that Midnight Dynamite album by Kix.
Midnight Dynamite.
And that's just the year we were in. There's never been a more 1985 album art.
Yeah, you nailed it. For anybody listening, he's holding onto a microphone that's dynamite, and then his hair is just the classic long blonde, frizzy, crazy mess. He even has bangs in there. Ugh. And it's just the art style. I don't know how to explain it, but just that filter of it. You
gotta go look up Kix Midnight Dynamite. Dio releases Sacred Heart. That's his third.
Nice.
Last to feature guitarist Vivian Campbell, who I believe goes on to join Def Leppard. The Outfield, we get their debut.
We get Red Hot Chili Peppers second. They're still haven't figured it out.
Not the Chili Peppers.
I think they're working on it. I think they're doing the same thing Motley Crue is, just way too many drugs and not enough music at this point in time. I mean, they never stopped doing the drugs, but
that's true. Rick Rubin tells a story of going to meet them to potentially produce them, and he said he was just like legitimately scared. He was like, these guys are scary. I don't want to be here.
I mean, dude, the only thing that separates Flea from being just a random homeless meth head is the bass guitar hanging around his neck.
Yeah.
That's it.
He's got all the other stuff.
He's got everything else, dude. Just shows up naked, tweaking out, just missing teeth, and you're like, bro, thank God he can play the bass guitar. This dude's scary.
Who's this homeless guy? Oh, that's the artist. Oh, give him his bass. He needs to walk around with his bass. Otherwise, I think he's the homeless guy. John Cougar Mellencamp, dude, just cannot decide on a name. And we have both since, I think, on this show, lost a little bit of respect for the way he behaved.
Yeah, man.
With his record label.
He could have had open arms for NSYNC, but he chose not to.
I've heard he's not easy to work with at all anyway. So anyway.
Ooh, The Cure.
The Cure. The Head on the Door. That's their sixth.
Wait, I think that one has one of their bigger songs on it. Am I wrong?
Michael McDonald releases his second solo album.
I don't think I've listened to this one.
Does Michael McDonald have any big solo songs? I know his voice, but I don't know that I know any of his songs.
From his debut album, he has I Keep Forgetting, which is, I think, the biggest song he did solo. This one has No Looking Back, of course. He co-wrote it with Kenny Loggins, which he does all through the 80s. Those two are just constantly writing music with each other. But I don't think I know that one off the top of my head. But yeah, I think his debut had his biggest solo song on it. Still love him, though. Yep.
Starship. They're now just Starship.
Okay, we finally evolved into just Starship. Been keeping track as we've gone through the years, dude. So many name changes.
This one has We Built This City.
Oh, nice. Big one then.
Oh, actually, it's got more than that. Hold on, let me pull it up. We Built This City and Sarah.
All right. Kiss with Asylum, their 13th. Then we got Thompson Twins with their 5th. What is John Fox from? Why do I know that? I don't know.
John Fox?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the name's familiar.
Did you mention Kiss Asylum?
I did.
Their 13th.
Yeah, I don't even know what's on that.
After reading about Starship. Diana Ross, Eaten Alive. That is her 16th.
Woo! Doing
Madness with the great album title Mad Not Mad.
Oh, dude, I just heard some music from this. Eddie Murphy's debut album.
Oh, nice, dude.
It's not bad.
Another Renaissance man.
Right.
Soul to Soul, Stevie Ray Vaughan's third album.
Mm.
Man, I love Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh yeah, he's good. That's like John Mayer's biggest inspiration, isn't it?
Definitely one of them.
One of them. Yeah. What do we got? Rush. Power Windows.
Power Windows. They're 11th, dude. They're on 11.
Dude, I don't
Simply
even really know that one.
We got Simply Red's debut. A lot of debuts in 85. In Excess, Listen Like Thieves. That's their 5th. Iron Maiden, Live After Death. I believe that's one of their first live albums. Live After Death is cool.
Yeah.
Falco 3. Falco, if you remember, really big overseas. I think he's Austrian. That's where Thomas Lang played with him for a long time.
That's right. I remember you mentioning that to me.
We get Falco had one song I think we as Americans know. The Jets, their debut. Overkill's debut. Dude, Possessed debut. There's so many debuts like back to back.
Yeah, I know, right? Ooh, The Cars, greatest hits.
Cult. Their second album.
Simply Called Love. I like the album art. It's pretty good.
Too Short's debut.
Just don't like the font necessarily.
Wasp's second. And then ZZ Top Afterburner.
Which one is that? Their 9th. Okay.
Jeez. What else we got here?
Anthrax.
Wrap up 85.
Their 2nd. Is that their 2nd one this year?
Yeah, their debut was earlier.
That's right.
Halloween. Walls of Jericho. We get Halloween's debut. A little power metal for you there. Cheap Trick.
Standing on the Edge. That's their
Aerosmith,
8th.
Done with Mirrors.
I am not familiar with that album artwork at all by Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Is that one just forgotten? Is there nothing on it?
I don't know. I don't know that.
Yeah, I don't know any song on that album.
Elton John's 19th, Ice on Fire.
Okay, The Clash with their 6th and final. Okay, so The Clash are done as of 85.
Wow.
UFO.
Bob Dylan. Let's see what number this is. Oh, it's a box set.
Of course it is.
New edition.
Track.
We get their 3rd. A little R&B there. Pete Townsend going solo. It's his 5th solo.
Stevie Nicks with her 3rd solo.
He been gone solo.
Oh, dude, LL Cool J's debut. There we go.
There we go.
Called Radio.
Twisted Sister come out and play, and then Asia, which we learned last time was a supergroup.
Oh, come out and play. That's a big one by
Astra.
them.
It's their 3rd.
Dude, I still love my favorite information is that Dee Snider voiced the villain from the first Jack and Daxter game. Love that.
The villain?
Yes, dude.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. I was like watching the credits because I beat the game, and then I saw Dee Snider, and I was like, huh? Yep.
That's insane.
He voices the villain for the first Jack and Daxter game. Fun fact for everyone out there.
That's awesome. Another fun fact, Flea voices, who is it? The crazy animal kid and the Wild Thornberries?
That's right. I think I have a pretty good impression of him. I'll hit you with it after the show. I just don't know how loud it'll come through the mic.
Fine Young Cannibals, their debut. What's the song they have? Is it She Drives Me Crazy?
Oh, is that them? I like that song. I haven't heard it in a while, but that one's good.
Yeah, go back and listen to the snare of that one. So
That's
funny.
an interesting Molly Hatchet album cover. It's live, so they're not allowed to make it all epic looking.
Yeah,
that
She Drives Me
truly
Crazy.
encompasses what they should look like.
Oh, the Molly Hatchet one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought of that too. It's like just
that's more fitting.
I mean, just so dorky.
Let's
Bad
see.
Company. Yes, Bad Company is also considered a supergroup. Let's see I mean, we all know Paul Rogers and drummer Simon Kirke. Both of those are from the band Free. Mick Ralphs, he's the guitarist from Mott the Hoople, and bassist Boz Burrell from King Crimson. Seems like King Crimson just had a bunch of people that went off and made other supergroups.
Right? I don't think I've ever really listened to anything King Crimson, but man, I've heard that name come up so many times.
Yep.
And then closing it off,
rock.
Closing off in
60s.
1985, My Bloody Valentine's debut.
Oh, this
EP.
is maybe why. The list of past members from King Crimson is like 45 names.
Oh, it's just a rotating door.
Seems like if you were, were they English? Yeah. If you were just a guitarist in England, you played in King Crimson if you were around that time.
Just helped you go on to bigger and better things, I guess.
Yep. Well, that's going to wrap up 1985. A lot of debuts, a lot of cool stuff. I don't think we're dethroning 83 yet. What about you?
Yeah, no, nothing really stood out as far as like, one of the biggest things is like big album releases that really carries these years. And yes, there's a lot of cool debuts, and we're starting to get a little more diversity in the genres. But yeah,
to dethrone 83,
we're
gonna need several iconic, huge albums in the same year to
sure.
dethrone 83, I think. So moving on to 86, January 30th, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio holds its first induction ceremony. A lot of rock pioneers attending.
Oh, nice.
All right, let's get into it. We got Peter Frampton's Premonition. He's been around a minute. That's his 9th. Here's one I wanted to talk about. Black Sabbath released 7 Star. There was a story around this one I wanted to bring up. Yeah, this is the one with Glenn Hughes.
I was just about to say, is this Glenn Hughes finally?
Yeah, but here's the thing. It was supposed to be a Tony Iommi solo album. And that's why Glenn Hughes said yes, because Glenn Hughes was like, well, I don't want to be in Black Sabbath. I just, but I'm happy to do a solo album with you. So they did it. And then after it was all done, the label was like, nah, we're going to release it as Black Sabbath, and just did it anyway. And Glenn Hughes was like, dude, what?
Dude, the label constantly.
And so
being
it literally
the enemy.
says, the album art's so weird. It says Black Sabbath, huge, and then featuring Tony Iommi. And the album art is literally just a picture of Tony Iommi. It was definitely meant to be a solo album. I actually don't know the music from this one that well, but they did go on to do at least one solo album under the name Iommi, which I think was just Tony Iommi's thing. And then and Glenn sang for that. That yielded some really good songs. But 7 Star, I'm not as familiar with the music, but I am familiar with the story.
Yeah, even like you said, just looking at the album artwork, you can just tell it's got the label written all over it. Just like it's obviously like a solo album with the picture. It's got his name on it, Tony Iommi, but then big letters at the top, Black Sabbath, just trying to push push the sales.
Crazy. They probably thought under they would sell more. It's probably right. So I don't know.
Man, all I've gotten is that the label just constantly makes horrendous decisions, like always. And yet they just get rewarded with tons of money.
Are just the ones we hear about.
Yeah,
because if they make good decisions, you just think, oh, the artist is awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
Then you make bad decisions, and then it's like,
but goodness, I read how much they mess up more than they do right.
Yeah, there's no strategy for sure.
All right, Janet Jackson with her 3rd solo, and John Lennon.
Ozzy Osbourne releases The Ultimate Sin.
Okay, yeah,
This was the first album to feature Jakey Lee, so Randy Rhoads had passed at this point, I think. Jermaine Jackson and Janet Jackson within a couple days of each other.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even see Jermaine down there. Nice. Is that his? Doesn't say what album that is, does it? It's the 11th. Huh? Crazy. I didn't know it was releasing that many.
Yeah, it's insane how much music is out there, huh?
Oh, dude, Rainbow with a live album. Nazareth with their 16th. Goodness.
Ministry's 2nd. Van Halen, 5150.
Oh, we got Metallica.
It was the first of 4 albums to be recorded with Sammy Hagar.
Metallica's Master of Puppets. That's a big one. Yellow, Balance of Power.
What year? What day is that one? Oh, I see it there.
That one is March 3rd.
And then ELO, same day, Balance of Power. Interesting. Pet Shop Boys. What do we know that name from?
Pet Shop Boys. This is their debut. You're looking up synth pop group or duo. I don't know. I do feel like they have something. I don't know if you're looking it up right now. Ooh.
I'm looking up singles. See if I recognize any.
Yeah, while you do that, I'm going to keep going through March. We got Prince and the Revolution's Parade, their 8th album.
Oh, apparently they were very big everywhere but here.
Ah. Great White?
They had some charting here, but nothing that I recognize. Oh, that's just the 80s. Let me go to the 90s. Their song titles are too long. Where the Streets Have No Name, I Can't Take My Eyes Off You.
Oh, God.
That's one song.
The one song. Oh.
Yesterday When I Was Mad. Dang, dude. How do they have this much? Okay, guess this is why I know their name. So much stuff.
Yeah, we'll have to look into them a little bit more.
There's absolutely something they do that I know.
I feel like they look familiar. I may have seen them in like a video or something.
Yeah. Prince drops his 8th Parade.
Great White.
Great White, Shot in the Dark. That's their second. Yep. Joe Jackson. All right, that brings us to April through June. Culture Club.
What is that? From their 4th.
Judas Priest Turbo.
10th studio album by them.
Journey release Raised on Radio. That's kind of you're on the backside of the bell curve at that point. They're on their way down.
Yeah, they've already written everything that's really meaningful, I guess.
Raised on Radio was like aggressively 80s. And then they had I don't remember who really was making the decisions at this time, but they fired their bassist and drummer and got actually Randy Jackson played drums on that. Or bass on that, sorry. And then I forget who played drums. They were just kind of going through some changes. And if you hear the music on Raised on Radio, it's like, I mean, dude, just how you imagine 80s sounds, like with the massive reverby drums and the huge synthesizer, like all that stuff. That's what it sounds like. Some good stuff on there, but just it's, starting to not be Journey anymore. And then it just keeps going, less and less from there, I think.
Dude, I'm looking down here at GTR. Never heard of them, but it's a super group that has Steve Howe from Yes and Asia, and then it has guitars from Genesis, Steve Hackett. Mm-hmm. I bet it's probably worth a listen. It's the only album they did.
GTR appealed to AOR, that's album-oriented rock radio stations, or arena rock. A couple ways you could look at it.
Yeah, I might need to look that up. Aerosmith with a live album. Lou Reed still doing it with his 14th. Kind of a slow year so far, honestly. Not seeing a whole lot stand out to me yet. What about you? Oh, here we go. The Ramones. All right, with their 9th. Still doing it. Still screaming 1, 2, 3, 4 into the mic. Oh, dude. Peter Gabriel's So. This is his big album. I think this is his biggest solo album. This one has, if I'm not wrong, it's got Sledgehammer, Red Rain, In Your Eyes. It's got the full on, everything. So that one is nice. I love that album.
Solid.
All right, what else? Right after it, we have Poison's debut. Goodness gracious, all 4 of them just wearing makeup for the album cover. Then AC/DC, Who Made Who? Soundtrack by, it's a soundtrack for what? Maximum Overdrive, a Stephen King film. Okay, sweet. Run DMC's 3rd, Raising Hell.
Solid.
Europe, The Final Countdown. Okay, so that's their 3rd album. The only song.
Did you enjoy the album art from Poison's debut there?
Yes, so much. That's why I was saying all 4 of them just in tons of makeup, dude.
You have to look at that and be like, where did it go wrong? How did we get here?
Oh.
How?
Let's see. Man, we just had a nice little run of things. Queen with their 12th Kind of Magic.
Something I'm learning going through all these is how many albums are actually soundtracks that I didn't realize. Like, who made who?
Right? That's what I was
AC/DC,
just seeing. I was like, huh?
No idea. That's crazy.
See, I see down here Genesis still doing after taking a break in 1984 for each member to continue his solo career. Sounds like they all came back together though for this. Wait. Yeah. I think this still has I believe it still has Phil Collins writing music for it. So yep, he was doing solo stuff and still doing Genesis. Got that confirmation right here.
Cinderella's debut.
Oh, nice. Cinderella.
These are the bands that it's like if you go back and listen to the glam metal playlist, you're just like, definitely cringing.
Yeah, you weren't kidding. All the album artworks for these late 80s rock bands going crazy now. Just big hair, makeup.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The fog machine in the background. Goodness. Glass Tiger. I don't know if I know them, but debut The Smiths. Sting with another.
Sting's first live one.
Yeah, that's a live. Rod Stewart keeping it alive. Wham! This is their third and final. Okay, so I assume George Michael goes solo after this. Queensryche right after that with their second studio album, Rage for Order. Madonna with her third. Let's see. Dio with a live album. I'm moving down into July now.
Some good stuff throughout.
Wait,
David Lee Roth, Eat 'Em and Smile. That's the solo debut. That's the big one.
Okay, so we saw he had that EP release. This is the first
and
official.
And the EP was successful for sure, but this one has straight up hits.
Okay.
A couple of them. Just like Paradise is one of them. I think that's on this album. That might actually be on the second album. Let me look at the track listing. Yeah, that must be on the second album. This one has Yankee Rose, which is huge, and then a few others. So it has, the band is crazy too. That's one of the other reasons it got famous. It's David Lee Roth, Steve Vai, Billy Sheehan, and Greg Bissonette.
So he had a good cast around him.
Yeah, well, him getting Steve Vai was a big deal because it was like, clearly just trying to be like, look, I can get another good guitarist. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, I can't get over this Motorhead album, Orgasmatron.
Yeah. Very good.
Goodness.
Very creative.
That is their 7th. Ooh, Billy Joel, The Bridge, his 10th.
How about Cameo, American funk group, releasing Word Up, their 13th, and look at the album art.
Oh, yeah.
We need to also do and this one might be better for when we implement video, but, worst and best album art of all time.
Oh, for sure. That would be a good one. We'll have to put them on screen, definitely, for the YouTube audience.
Because that one's a contender for worst.
Oh.
I just can't imagine when I see something like that. If you're on a major label, how many people were involved in the concept, the shooting, the editing, and then finally the approval? And none of them were like, this kind of sucks, no?
Yeah.
Dude, what? They were all just like, yeah, it looks incredible.
Jeez.
I question your taste. Neil Young, what is this? His 87th? Let's see. 16th. Sorry, Neil.
You were pretty close.
REM's 4th, UB40. They're 7th, dude. Quiet Riot, their 3rd. Oh, sorry, 5th. It's called Quiet Riot 3. Excuse me for assuming.
Yeah. See, I fell into that
That's
same
on me.
trap.
Sorry,
Yeah.
that's on me. Shaka Khan's Destiny, that's her 6th. Good stuff there. Van Morrison, his 16th. I didn't realize he's Northern Irish.
Mm.
Lionel Richie, Dancing on the Ceiling. There we go. Some good stuff there. Okay,
Bon
here we go.
Jovi?
Absolutely massive album. Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet.
Yep.
That's one of the big. I think that's actually his biggest. Let's look at the track listing for that. You Give Love a Bad Name, Living on a Prayer, Wanted Dead or Alive.
Oh, there you go.
And then several others, but that's his the big ones.
Those three do it for me.
Huey Lewis and the News, 4. And that is their 4th album. However, it's called 4 like F-O-R-E exclamation point.
Oh, dude, this is my favorite Huey Lewis album. This has The Power of Love, Hip to Be Square, Jacob's Ladder, Stuck with You, Doing It All for My Baby. I love this album. This is definitely...
So that's pretty big.
Yeah, that's
the album I like Dwight Yoakam dropping an album called Guitars, Cadillacs, etc., etc. Just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Alcatraz, back again. It's their 3rd. They have a new guitarist again. So I guess it was Yngwie for the first, Steve Vai for the second, and then they just kept kind of changing. Toto drops Fahrenheit, their 6th. Paul Simon, Graceland. That's one of his big ones, right?
That's one of my favorites. It might be it's so hard, dude. I don't know. I have 2 that are like right there for my favorite Paul Simon album. This is one of them. Tons of hits off this one. What else? This is a nice little run here in August. All right.
Yeah, Triumph. Daryl Hall.
With some solo stuff. His 2nd solo album. Moving
Vinnie
down
Vincent
into...
Invasion. Vinnie Vincent was... Let me look this up. I don't want to misspeak. Wow, that's an insane album.
You said which one?
Let me look up who was in this one, though. Vinnie Vincent.
Oh, Vinnie Vincent.
Yeah, that's right. I thought he was one of the guys in Kiss. He was the guitarist in Kiss.
Oh, okay.
For a while.
Let's see. Moving along down here. What is Tina Turner on now? Oh, just 6th? Okay. Oh, 6th solo. That's right. She was doing it was Ike and Tina for a long, long time. Cyndi Lauper with her 2nd. Anything off that? I feel like we hit all of her big hits on the first one. Change of Heart, Maybe He'll Know, Boy Blue, True Colors. Right. Yeah, I don't really know much of that. I just know all the songs from her debut.
Rick Ocasek going solo there. 2nd solo album. He's from the Cars. Main songwriter and guitarist. Boston, 3rd Stage. I believe this is their 3rd and really their last, if I remember. I think they've maybe had stuff after that, but I actually don't know. Let me check. I know they had other stuff I was mostly thinking about with their main singer.
Gotcha.
Brad Delp.
Alice Cooper still doing stuff. Megadeth's 2nd. Little thrash metal.
Brad Delp was in it quite a bit, actually. I think up until his death.
How many albums did Boston have in total? 3, 4?
A few. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so here's the thing, though. Like, they had 76, 78. That was their first 2 with all the hits.
Yep.
And then 86, so big break. And I don't think that one had any crazy hits. So we'll do this when we do the Boston episode. Yeah, so their 3rd one had Amanda, We're Ready, and Cool the Engine. So like it had some songs, but not the biggest ones. And then they didn't do another album until 94. And that didn't have Brad Delp. And then they did 2002. Brad Delp, I guess, is back in it at that point. And then 2013, Brad Delp died in 2007, I think.
Okay. All right. We got Iron Maiden's 6th. Somewhere in Time. Gotta love all the Iron Maiden artwork for their album covers. Just it's always cool when a band takes like a unique art style and just sticks with it. Iggy Pop, blah, blah, blah. That's what I hear also. All right, Chicago 18. What number do you think it actually is? Guess before I look. It's called Chicago 18, so we obviously know it's
22.
It is their 15th studio
I went
album.
the wrong way.
Yeah.
I went the wrong way.
Oh.
That's insane. 15 studio albums. Iron Maiden dropped Somewhere in Time, by the way.
Yep.
I'm back in the zone here from.
I was like, yeah,
from the
Boston. Was talking
hole.
about that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be so funny. People listen to this like he just fucking said that. I was down a rabbit hole. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was.
Metal Church, The Dark.
Dude, I really want
Metal
Kenny
Church.
G to
Metal Church, one of those trifecta bands, by the way.
Oh, is it? I really wish Kenny G just dropped an album cover that just like looked like Iron Maiden or like some speed metal
or like Molly Hatchet.
Yeah, dude, just something like that. But it's Kenny G. That would be so awesome.
He's like beating someone to death with a saxophone, like riding a horse or a dragon.
Yep.
Saxon's 8th. Slayer, Rain and Blood. That's a big one. All right, so 86 definitely has some big albums.
Aha, with their second. Let's see. Moving along, Slayer.
It's still just not enough, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Slayer's third. Billy Idol, Whiplash Smile, his third. Dude, Weird Al's kind of been putting out one a year now. He's on his 4th.
Yep. Kool and the Gang with their 17th.
Striper. I actually know Striper. Yep, I know this just from it's a joke on another podcast. He plays a clip of their song like anytime they're talking about like it's a Christian band that does like metal.
Glam. They're like a glam metal Christian band.
They're a glam metal Christian band. Yeah. To hell with the devil. Nice. Let's see. It only took
Money drops the album with Take Me Home Tonight.
Oh, nice. Dude, it only took Aretha Franklin. Here's a new record. 31st album called Aretha.
Wow.
She had
nope, you're wrong.
Yeah. I'm wrong?
It's the 3rd album with the Aretha title to be released. That's crazy. There was one in 61 and one in 80.
She can just keep releasing the same album.
So she was just like, you know what? Who cares? It's called Aretha again.
Reuse it. Reuse it.
I mean, call it like Aretha F, Aretha Franklin, comma, Aretha.
Dude, I didn't know there were so many Kansas albums. I only know like the 2 big hits, and like, I wonder if they're worth diving into the rabbit hole in their discography.
They might be giants. Their debut.
That Yngwie Malmsteen album. The Yngwie album artwork is great.
All his artworks. He's a very over the top gentleman.
Yeah, dude, he's fighting a dragon with his guitar. A 3-headed dragon, sorry.
So that's a Hydra then.
Hydra, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Timbuk 3, dude. Timbuk 3.
Greetings from Timbuk 3. Oh, that album artwork? Oh, phenomenal. 10 out of 10.
That's amazing. Also, could be probably considered pretty insensitive, but very funny.
Yeah.
It's just like a donkey loaded down with gear, just staring at the camera. Elton John leather jackets. I'm realizing how much Elton John music I don't know.
Right?
And I've always liked Elton John a lot.
Dude, I was thinking that too.
I'm realizing I don't.
It's like I'm just
as in, like I don't know that much.
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen releases the live box set. Man, he's got that 50s telly that I love so much.
It looks kind of similar color-wise with the guitar you've been playing.
Yeah, the 50s telly is the butterscotch with the black pickguard. That's what mine is. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Live Alive. Don't call it that, Stevie. You don't live too much longer, unfortunately.
Let's see. The Kings. Duran with their 4th.
It's just an overwhelming amount of music here. Dang, we gotta speed this thing along. We got 3 more years. Queen, Tesla, nice, Mechanical Resonance.
Oh, dude.
Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Here's a debut real quick. Salt and Pepper. Hot, Cool, and Vicious with their debut.
There you go.
Nice.
And Guns N' Roses drop Live Like a Suicide, which is
Wait, they dropped a live EP before anything else?
yeah, it's kind of weird. There's like a lot of weird stuff on it. They basically ended up putting all the songs from that on the back end of Lies, if I remember.
Gotcha.
And but that was more like a tape that was like circulating LA. I don't think it was like
Anything major.
release,
Well, that does it for 86. I'm moving on to 87, and I still don't think 86 topped 83.
87, from what I know, has some
There's going to be some
powerhouses.
Oh yeah, there's going to be some good stuff. I think we're about to hit the 87 versus 83 is going to be a big one, so we'll see. Oh, nice. Aretha Franklin, first woman inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's the
that's crazy. I saw that.
very top music events in 87. All right. Let's get down to January and see. Oh, right off the bat, we got Deep Purple with their 12th. Oh. Wait, what? Bruce Willis? Huh?
The Return of Bruno.
His debut? What? How do I not know these actors had albums?
All right. Here's another topic we're going to do. We're going to do albums from people you didn't know had albums.
Yeah.
Or you didn't know did music.
That is crazy. What is I don't even know what to expect out of that. Like, not even a little bit.
And you know what we can do with these, and we can talk more about this off air, is make them like top 10 kind of thing.
Oh, dude, he has some good musicians. He's got Booker T. Jones on that album playing. Okay. Man, that's gonna be I'm gonna listen to that today. Like, literally as soon as we hop off. I'm just too curious. All right.
REO Speedwagon. Life as we know it. Public Enemy. It is their debut.
Yep. Nice.
Man of War, their 5th. Just bask in that album art for a second.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
You know the name of the band, that's for sure.
They all look like He-Man characters.
There's no way they all have that many abs.
Yeah.
There's no way.
They drew
Unless
straws.
They're just living off chicken and protein shakes.
They drew straws, and the available options were 6 abs showing, 4 abs showing, 8 abs showing, and 12.
Yeah. We'll add 4 extra abs that don't actually even exist physiologically. Lou Gramm, Ready or Not, his debut solo album.
Where is... Okay, I still don't think... I think Santana's big album is in the 90s. I keep checking on these Santana albums to see.
Oh, dude. U2, The Joshua Tree.
Oh, really?
Not only is that's one of their
one.
best, that's one of the best albums of all time. I think a lot of people agree. So that's a big win.
For sure.
Right below that, another big win, in my opinion, Whitesnake's 7th, which is self-titled. That has all the big hits. It's got Here I Go Again, Still of the Night, Give Me All Your Love, Is This Love. I played this game. Remember how we used to play the game Find the Whitesnake song without the word love in it?
Yeah.
I played it with one of my students the other day, and he was like, okay, well, how about this one? I look it up. Love was literally in the first line. He was like, oh, I guess you're right.
Man, that's all they talk about.
Right after that, Prince drops Sign of the Times.
His 9th. Okay. And notice that And the Revolution is not part of the
right.
artist.
And that's actually a double album, too.
Well, Breakfast Club. Nice.
Yep. So far, pretty good start.
Yeah, good start. We're going into April now.
Remains to be seen if we can bring it home here. The Cult releases Electric. That's their 3rd.
Celine Dion with a French album. It sounds like. Yeah.
She's French, no? I would assume.
Yeah, I just didn't know she did a lot of music
she's Canadian.
in French.
Gotcha.
Canadian, but that makes sense that she would speak French. There's a lot of French provinces.
Yep. All right. Now here's a new record. Check out this Johnny Cash album.
Wait.
I'm going to wait for you to
coming to
be
town.
like, oh my God.
73rd. Oh my gosh. Did he ever did he ever have a day off? I'm not even.
There's bands that don't have that many songs.
True.
Fleetwood Mac, Tango in the Night. It's their 14th. That's actually very beautiful album art. No text, just like a picture.
Yeah,
it's cool.
That's a good one.
TNT, Tell No Tales, third studio album.
David Bowie with his 17th. Goodness gracious. I didn't know he had so many.
That TNT album, this is a hilarious sentence. It was the best-selling TNT album in the U.S., according to their bass guitarist, Morty Black.
Morty Black.
How about according to actual sales charts? Don't ask your bassist.
Yeah. He said this
one did the best in the U.S., 100%. 100%. Best album we ever did in the U.S. Yeah, for sure. It's like, bro, it wasn't even released in the U.S. Like,
oh, jeez. We got Debut
Testament?
by Testament. Yep.
You have family members in that band, I believe.
Do I?
Yeah, your dad's cousin.
Oh, that's this band. Oh, okay, nice.
Faith No More, they're second. I must have missed their first. Okay, this is interesting, though. Due to the limited availability of the first album, which is called We Care A Lot, many, including the band, consider this Faith No More to be this album to be their true debut. It's called Introduce Yourself as well, which is kind of funny. Let Me Up, I've Had Enough.
What's that? Their 7th. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
That's Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers' 7th.
R.E.M. Dead Letter
Ozzy Osbourne
Office.
releases Tribute with Randy Rhoads, although Randy Rhoads had passed, obviously, at this point. It was from 1981. It looks like a live album. Barbra Streisand, she's done a bunch. What is this? This is the third live album. First full-length concert. Yeah. That's it doesn't say exactly which one it is. All right, here's a new contender for best album title. Band's Happy Mondays. Title is Squirrel and G-Man, 24-Hour Party People, Plastic Face, Can't Smile, White Out.
Just a normal album title.
So just a cocaine run-on sentence there.
What a description.
Guys, we're going to name it. Done, typed it, sent it, done. It's done. We can't change it. It's done. The label said it's cool. It's done. We got to get a new singer. Randy Travis, Always and Forever. That's his second.
Nice.
Love Randy Travis.
Ooh, Heart, Bad Animals. That's their 9th. I haven't seen them pop up in a little while.
I don't think I've seen him pop up once. No, we've seen him once.
Jane's Addiction. Nice. With a live album.
It seems like early for them. No, they were like more 90s, I thought. Motley Crue, Girls. I take it back. They were still high for this one. But
they happened to manage to make like a song.
Well, I mean, if you go back and listen to these songs, they're not good songs. Like if you really go back and listen to them, like they're fun, but they are not good. Halloween, Keeper of the Seven Keys, Part 1. I think they're writing like I like this YA novel.
This debut, Death, and their album is Scream Bloody Gore.
They're one of the early like true death metal bands. Death. The Cure, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. Just a little desperate there.
Oh, we got Whitney Houston's second called Whitney. This one has some big hits on it.
That's a big one for sure.
Yeah, I Want to Dance with Somebody.
And this actually is one of the best-selling albums of all time. 20 million copies worldwide.
Ooh.
So that's a big win for 87 there. We already had a few other big wins for 87. Priest released a live album.
Hello, Cool J with his second. Roger Waters with his second studio solo album. Going down, Sammy Hagar. All right, so he still hasn't joined Van Halen yet, right?
White Lions album, Pride. They were another glam metal band. However, they had 2 top 10 hits on this album.
What do you think about that album artwork?
The White Lion? Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I figured
I've seen that one a lot, though. I've seen that album a lot. Richard Marx's debut, by the way.
Men Without Hats with their third. I think. Oh, is that debut by him? Yep, Boy George debut.
Nice.
Never really listened to his music before, but
We're into the late summer 87 now, July. Napalm Death released Scum. A lot going on in that album art. Twisted Sister, Love is for Suckers. Just so hurt, that guy. Just crying every night. Starship, still going at it. Grateful Dead.
yeah, I was like,
12th
random.
studio album.
We haven't seen them pop up in a while. All of a sudden, just interesting.
Here we get a few debuts. We have Faster Pussycat.
Is there a big song on that one? Or
They
a big song,
I've actually
but,
played a gig with them. They no, I think a lot of people like this album if you're into that like glam metal scene.
gotcha.
But this one I don't think had the big ones. They wrote the song Cat House. Nice. Cat House was a cool place. Ace Frehley releases Frehley's Comet. That's his second.
Man, what a good band title.
Two shorts, fourth studio album and debut major label album. So that's cool. Hip hop's definitely coming in. The day after that, Appetite for Destruction. Guns N' Roses debut.
It's a big win.
Dio,
Huge.
Dream Evil. Yeah, Appetite is, I believe, didn't we look it up? It's the number one best-selling debut album.
I do believe so. It is number one on that list. Yep.
And we can get into that when we do a Guns N' Roses episode. But what's funny is it came out July 21st, 87 and did nothing really at all for a full year. And then in summer 88, MTV was a real thing at the time. And it picked up the Sweet Child of Mine video. And that's when it was like a whirlwind.
Yeah, so I just pulled up the track listing. You probably have it committed by memory, but this one's got it's got Welcome to the Jungle, Sweet Child of Mine and stuff. But my favorite songs.
I try it top to bottom by memory?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, Welcome to the Jungle.
Yep.
It's So Easy.
Mm-hmm.
Out to Get Me, Mr. Brownstone.
Missed one in there.
Oh, I missed one. Out to Get Me, Mr. Brownstone's track 5.
Right before Out to Get Me. Out to Get Me is 4. It's So Easy's 2. You missed number 3.
Oh, God, what am I missing? Help me out.
Choo Choo.
Oh, Night Train. Train. Yeah, that's right. Night Train. Oh, this is so pointless that we're doing this.
Then you said Out to Get Me, Mr. Brownstone.
So that puts Brownstone 5, Paradise City 6.
Yep. All right. Side
7's
2.
the one everyone forgets. That's Think About You, right?
Nope. Think About You is the second. We have 6 more on the R side instead of the B side because it's G and R sides.
That's actually pretty smart.
Think About
That's
You.
really cool.
Yeah. Think About You is number 2 on the R side.
Dude, I never realized that. The G side, the gun side, is all like aggressive, hard hitting, like nasty stuff. And the R side, the Roses side, is all like the sweet, soft, sensitive songs.
Yeah, true.
That's cool.
That is a really cool layout. This is gonna kill you if I tell you.
So what's right after? Well, all right, I'll go backwards. Rocket Queen is the last one.
Yep, Rocket Queen's last one. One of my favorites on the album.
Anything Goes is the one before that.
Yep.
Now I'm running out. I can't believe I can't get this.
Dude, this is gonna kill
you. Think about you. Sweet Child of Mine's on there.
Yep. Sweet.
What am I missing?
My Michelle. And You're Crazy.
Yeah, My Michelle. And You're Crazy. Yep. Awesome.
Yeah, I really
there
like Mr. Brownstone. I like Rocket Queen. It's So Easy is a pretty good one. I've just heard Welcome to the Jungle, Paradise City, and Sweet Child of Mine a bajillion times, dude. So I like some of the other stuff.
Paradise City will always probably hold the number 1 spot for my favorite song of all time, just because of like how it got me into music and stuff.
Yeah, that one.
And then
always
when we went through and
learned,
I always like the songs, but like you hear them all the time. But then we went back and had to learn all of them because we did a tribute band. So I decided to like buckle down. I learned them all at your house actually, and learned like all the Guns N' Roses songs note for note, and that gave me like a lot of new appreciation for like Welcome to the Jungle and all that stuff. Sweet Child of Mine I haven't played since I was in 8th grade yet. I'm over that one. I'm with you.
So I'm
Triumph, Surveillance.
Dude, August 3rd with another huge one. Like
Def Leppard.
Hysteria. We saw
this may be their biggest album.
I believe it is.
By the way, this is a fun little, well, not that fun. It took over 3 years, was plagued by delays, including the aftermath of drummer Rick Allen's accident that cost him his left arm.
That's right.
The very last day of December 1984. Interesting. They actually published a book right before this album, and it was all about the 3-year process that led to this album. That's really cool. I didn't know that. This is also the last album to feature Steve Clark. He died in 91. Steve Clark was he was the rhythm guitarist of the band. He was a really big part of the songwriting process and a real key part of this band. But all that being said, listen to this track listing, dude. The first side 1, every single song has a Wikipedia link. Women, Rocket, Animal, Love Bites, Pour Some Sugar on Me, Armageddon It.
Dude,
every single song.
Love Bites is one of my favorites on this album.
Animal's probably my favorite one. That song is so fun.
Nice.
Side 2, a lot of these I don't know, but one of them I do. Gods of War, Don't Shoot Shotgun, Run Riot, Hysteria, Excitable, and Love and Affection. Animal has always been one of my favorites. I was talking to somebody in my band about it the other day. We were going through talking about how Def Leppard has this thing when they write songs, they just like change the key in the middle of the song like 3 or 4 times. No warning, nothing. It's just like, here, new key, go. Like, and it somehow they make it work, and it makes absolutely no sense how they do it, and they make it work perfectly every time. It's one of their superpowers. Dirty Dancing soundtrack. The day after that.
Good one. Really good one, actually. Dude, so John Mellencamp cut out the cougar part. Back to John Mellencamp.
Cut that cougar out. Pretty soon he's just going to be John, like trying to do the Prince thing.
Right.
It's like, bro, you can't be John. You got to have a cooler name if you're going to be just like...
Dude, at the end of August here, we've got Bad by Michael Jackson.
Okay, not only that, the same day we get Bad by Michael Jackson, Permanent Vacation by Aerosmith, and Document by REM.
What a
and then
day.
2 others as well.
What a month.
Permanent Vacation's a big one. That's a big one for Aerosmith. So I don't know, man. I think we might have a new top one here. Let's see how it shapes out.
Yeah, there's a lot of heat here. Oh, dude, A Momentary Lapse of Reason, Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd, they're 13th.
Rush.
So look at that album art on A Momentary Lapse of Reason. I feel like that's what Sid Barrett just sees in his head all the time.
Right. Pretty spot on.
Reba McEntire, Last One to Know. Rush, Hold Your Fire. They're 12th.
Oh, wait. Okay, real quick. Back on Momentary Lapse of Reason, I wanted to click. That has Learning to Fly. I don't know if you remember that song. Every single song on that album has a Wikipedia link, by the way. Everything was written by Gilmour. Yep.
Which one? This is the Momentary Lapse of Reason?
Yep. The Pink Floyd album. One's pretty good. This is really like Roger Waters is gone. This is really just pure. It's like David Gilmour solo albums listed under Pink Floyd, like is going forward.
Interesting.
Yeah. Which is my favorite era.
Big Black gives us the album Songs About Fucking.
Oh, let's go. Oh God. And the album artwork.
This actually is their final album. I did see though, this was founded first as a solo project by singer and guitarist Steve Albini, who you may not know the name of, but Steve Albini went on to be a pretty successful producer.
I feel like I've heard the name.
I'm going to see if I can find some of the stuff he's produced.
Oh, this is hilarious. So we of course had Earth, Wind and Fire, and then we got this other band, this album artwork or album title, I can't talk. Earth, Sun, Moon. Interesting.
All the stuff he produced so far is like very deep, like punk and like alternative stuff. He did the band Helmet. Remember them, I'm sure. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, he did Nirvana in Utero.
Oh, okay.
He was the recording engineer for that. Still scrolling through here. He's done a ton of stuff. I'm skipping all the out there ones. Come on, man. Give me something here. Worked on Cheap Trick.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to leave it there.
So we got a Kiss
Temptations.
album. Yep, the Temptations. We got a Kiss album without the makeup and stuff. Crazy Nights.
Crazy, 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 crazy nights. It's a catchy song.
Bro, hover the Bee Gees and tell me the third brother doesn't look like his head is just photoshopped in. Like it just looks
the one
like
facing to the side.
Yeah, the one on the bottom. I don't know. It just looks like his head was
on
just
the
on them. Yeah, dude. It just looks like they just copy and pasted his head in there.
That's hilarious.
Ooh.
I love it. Michael Bolton, The Hunger, his 5th.
Yes, doing stuff again. Oh, the
Pixies
debut.
their debut.
Okay.
And then one of my favorite bands, Wet, Wet, Wet. Just kidding. Not the album art you would expect.
Wet, Wet, Wet. Let me see. Oh, yeah.
Popped and sold out. Debut their Scottish band.
God, dude, the Red Hot Chili Peppers still just geeked out on meth and heroin and every other drug under the sun.
You were expecting for Wet, 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 but it's 4 guys in suits.
Yeah, they look like a doo-wop
a Shure 55 microphone. Yeah. The Smiths, their 4th and final studio album. Yeah, Red Hot Chili Peppers still trying to get their shit together. They're about to, though.
Yep, they're about to hit it.
In the next 5 years, they get it together. Billy Idol, Vital Idol.
I like that. That name's good. Comes off the tongue well.
Alabama Loverboy. Oh, wow. Yeah, dude, I think this year takes it. I thought we were done. We're just now getting into October and December. Bruce Springsteen, Tunnel of Love.
The 8th studio album. Let's go.
Sinead O'Connor. It's her debut.
Earth, Wind, and Fire still doing stuff. They're 14th.
I was going to say, what's the 14th? And then Joe Satriani, his 2nd. And that album has a lot of his best stuff. That's also his most successful album to date.
We got a Sting.
We get his 2nd one.
I think this is a bigger one of his solo stuff. Nothing like the
Excess delivers Kick. Did you see Oasis is getting back together?
I didn't.
We need to do that episode very soon.
Oasis.
Pat Benatar, Best Shots. Hit me with your best shot. Joe Walsh, Got Any Gum?
I do actually. Give me a second.
Solid album art on that one. I like that one. Soundgarden deliver a debut EP, 1987, dude.
Nice.
That's what I'm saying. The
early grunge,
already,
dude.
We're in the heat of the 80s, right? The heat of the glam period, and already the counterculture starting to kind of stir. George Michael, Faith, dude, come on. His debut. Faith is a huge song. What else was
huge
on it? I'm going
album.
to tell you right now. Faith, Father Figure, I Want Your Sex, both parts 1 and 2, 9 minutes long. One More Try, Hard Day. Monkey Kissing a Fool. George Harrison, his 11th. Dude just wouldn't stop.
Right.
Dokken, Back for the Attack. It's their 4th.
Dude,
yeah, they were early 80s.
Ice-T with his debut.
Yeah, man, got to cool that tea down before you drink it, bro.
Stevie Wonder,
Janet
characters.
Jackson, her first remix.
Oh, dude, NWA.
That's a compilation. Cher, her 18th self-titled Cher. Sisters of Mercy, is this their first one? It's their 2nd one. They had a song on, only reason I know them, they had a song on one of the Grand Theft Autos. Wasp, Black Sabbath. We got to speed it up here. Mark Knopfler, The Princess Bride. I did not realize he did the soundtrack by that.
Foreigner with another album.
That's one of the great albums, or the great movies. I'll get it right here.
True.
Give me a second. Foreigner, Inside Information, Anthrax, Dinosaur Jr., Aretha Franklin. And that's going to bring 87 home. What are you thinking? Are we in agreement that that's the new number 1?
I agree. I think that one's got a lot of heaters on it.
A lot of bite.
A lot of good stuff. But let's go ahead.
88.
Yeah, we'll go through 88 and 89
LA
a little
Guns.
quicker. Ooh. Debut.
Some songs on there for sure.
Megadeth doing more. David Lee Roth with another solo.
Skyscraper. That's the one with Just Like Paradise, which is my favorite song by him. AC/DC, Blow Up Your Video. They're 11th.
Toto, the 7th one. And it actually is their 7th album. Respect.
Love it. Hey, we get Lita Ford's 3rd studio album. Sting. This is one of his big ones, right? Oh, no. He's singing in Spanish and Portuguese. Again, Sting. Relax.
Yep.
Robert Plant drops Now and Zen. Hilarious. Ted Nugent, if you can't lick 'em, lick 'em. Showcasing his IQ there.
What a title.
The Beatles, 1988, drop The Past Masters.
A compilation album. Yeah, the label was just running out of money, I guess.
Morrissey's debut.
Pixies' debut debut album. Last was an EP, I believe we talked about in the previous year.
Joni Mitchell gives her 13th. Man, she has, and I say this as nicely as I can, a very interesting look.
True.
And I just mean like the way her face is shaped. It is, I've never seen another human look like her. There's a band called 3.
Just 3. The Power of 3 is the album title also.
It's crazy. King's X, nice. That's their debut.
April. What do we got? Oh, Ziggy Marley. Okay.
Oh, here's Art Garfunkel, by the way. He had his 7th.
How did I miss Ziggy Marley earlier? They're on their 3rd album. I didn't even see their first
That's crazy. A huge one here. Tracy Chapman's debut.
Ooh.
That one has, I believe that has both of her really big hits on it. It does, what? Hold on. No, it has Fast Car. It does not have Give Me One Reason.
Okay.
That must be on a later album.
Iron Maiden with their 7th son of a 7th son.
Nice. We get more Weird Al, more Cheap Trick. Eric Clapton drops Crossroads. Love that. That's a collection box set.
Scorpions back to
their with the Yardbirds and more.
Scorpions back to their normal album artwork.
Love it. She's about to get stung. Timbuk 3, of course.
Let's see.
What else you seen here in 8? Melissa Etheridge.
But they already had their big hit, so.
Oh, Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime. That's a really big one for them.
Debut by Living Color. Vivid.
I was going to say.
No.
That was the next one I was going to say. Testament, The New Order. Poison, Open Up and Say Ah. I think this is one of their big ones. This has Nothing But a Good Time, Fallen Angel, Every Rose. So yeah, it's got their
that's their
biggest
big
ones.
No, they're Prince.
Love Sexy.
Yep.
Dude, with the art, man. Come on.
I know. It's just.
I feel like I gotta take a shower after looking at it. Judas Priest, Ram It Down. The 11th.
Run DMC with
Run DMC.
4th.
Tougher Than Leather. Van Halen OU812. That's the second album to feature Sammy Hagar. I believe this one did not have a lot of hits. It did have Black and Blue, which is one of my favorites.
Oh, okay. I know you like that one.
Finish What You Started, When It's Love. That's all. Rod Stewart, Out of Order.
Oh, so this is where the Red Hot Chili Peppers got their schlongs and socks. I got it. They called it the Abbey Road EP.
Yeah, the Abbey Road EP.
Yep. They're walking across Abbey Road butt naked with just a sock over their
like, bro, just like, put some clothes on. Here's one of the deeper cut glam metal bands that I know just from when I was coming up playing guitar. Please look at the Britney Fox album art.
Oh, wow.
Dude, the hair has graduated to the level of like Revolutionary War, like wigs.
Right?
Except they're not just white. They're like all colors.
Dude, all these guys' hair has to be like permanently damaged from the amount of hair.
They look like someone who's like trying to like solve the pirate problem on like their island, like in like the 1700s. Like, we gotta kill these damn pirates. Like,
yeah. Oh, dude, Huey Lewis and the News, Small World. I like that album as well.
Nice.
Including the song
How
Small
about
World.
Guy from Guy? Instead of the boy band wasn't a thing yet, so they came up with Guy. We're a guy band. Too old to be a boy band. Deep Purple, Nobody's Perfect. Jimmy Page, Outrider. It's his only solo studio album, and the first time since 1969 he recorded with a record label other than Atlantic Records. He did all the music himself in his own studio. Steve Winwood, his fifth.
Here's another Elton John album for you.
It's his 21st. Dude is prolific.
Right?
Paula Abdul, is this her first? Yeah, it's her debut. Nice. Big Daddy Kane, his debut. Pantera, this will be their fourth. And they were still... this is actually the first one to feature Phil Anselmo on lead vocals. And that means their lineup was secured, but I don't think they had found their sound yet. I really need to go back and listen to all that. Pantera's on our list, aren't they?
Yeah, I do believe so. Right.
I'm into July.
Me too.
Kylie Minogue, her debut. Benatar's seventh, and then Slayer's South of Heaven. That's a really big one for them.
South of Heaven, okay. Yeah, I don't really know
Cinderella's Long Cold Winter. Well. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like when you say like it's a really big album, it's like for Slayer fans and for Slayer, but Slayer themselves were not like taking over the radio waves or anything. Doesn't mean they're good or bad. It's just what it is. Joy Division. It's a singles compilation.
Kenny Loggins with an album. Salt and Peppa with their second. Eric B. and Rakim. Rakim being a legend in the rap world.
And the opposite of that, Winger. Their debut.
Oh, here's NWA straight out of Compton. You could
listen to.
Yeah, here's NWA straight out of Compton. I was wondering, it's their debut. Big album.
Yeah, that's huge. Marty Friedman's debut, Dragon's Kiss. Nice. That's probably Guitar Shred City.
Bad Company
Charlie
still
Daniels.
doing stuff. Jane's Addiction. Debut album.
Another band that's going to come along and kind of attempt to put the nail in the coffin of glam rock.
Mm-hmm.
Glenn Frey's third, Soul Searching. He's the singer for the Eagles, of course. Danzig, that's got to be his debut, right? Yep. Vixen, their debut. We played with them on the boat as well. I left something on the stage. This is kind of a funny story. I left my guitar strap or something on stage, and it was on the Kiss Cruise, so you just walk back to your room, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I left it. I'm going to go back and get it. So I go back to the stage. I walk up to grab my strap. As I walk up, the singer for Vixen's like, "Hey, could I get a little more like something in my monitors?" I was like, I just played. I don't work here." That was pretty funny.
Oops. Dude, my favorite Metallica album this year, And Justice for All. Love that one.
Make sure you put that pause in there. My favorite album is And Justice for All.
Bad Religion, Talk. The Proclaimers, their second. Is this the one that has I'm gonna be 500 miles, I would walk 500 miles. That song comes out this year, much later in the 80s than I thought. Coming out in 88. Oh, Eazy-E with his solo right after NWA solo. So, our debut. Ice-T with another album. Down in September, Phil Collins with a soundtrack. Wait, is he also in the movie? I don't know if he's in the movie. It looks like it almost. Bon Jovi with another fourth studio album.
Nice. Killing it.
Anthrax with their fourth. Ooh, Enya. Is this her debut? Oh, second album. I don't know how I missed the first, but okay.
Sometimes they just sneak in. Randy Newman's eighth.
I like some Randy Newman.
Oingo Boingo has quietly had an album every year so far. MC Hammer, we get his second. Ozzy's still going, his fifth. No Rest for the Wicked.
On to October and December.
Their debut. They're a crazy band. Do you know about Gwar?
I don't, but I just hovered them and I'm just jaw on the floor.
They dress up crazy and they do crazy stuff, like throw blood on the crowd, like all sorts of crazy stuff. October.
Bro, hover Gore real quick. The one on the right just looks like those little metal things from Ratchet and Clank. It's little enemies,
it does,
the little
right.
chomper enemies.
You are so right. Kenny G's 5th.
Oh, they missed an opportunity. The album's called Silhouette. They could have just done a silhouette of him. That would have been so much cooler.
It's true.
You too.
Sarah McLachlan's debut.
Oh.
Dire Straits, Money for Nothing. That's greatest hits for them, I guess. I was going to say I know that album, but I guess I didn't realize it was a greatest hits. It's so crazy if you name your greatest hits like an album. It kind of like sneaks in there as like, this album's really good. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Because not everyone's going to know. Duran Duran's 10th, REM's Eponymous. That's their first greatest hits. Steve Earle, Copperhead Road. That's a huge one. There's a whole dance to it and everything. Quiet Riot, they just released QR3, which of course, as you remember, is their 5th. Now they release QR, which is their 6th.
Makes sense.
Just no rhyme, reason, or plan to anything going on in that camp over there.
This is what I should have asked them at that show.
These are
right? These are the questions
like, oh, dude, that was a whole different set of guys. I don't know.
Yeah, true. They don't pass down lore from band member to band member? Come on.
Come on, man. Who's got the sacred texts?
Yeah, exactly. What a way to put that.
Who's keeping up with all this?
Oh, so we finally get Soundgarden's debut the year after their EP. Dinosaur Jr., Motorhead. Dude, Boney M also has been kind of... Oh, it's a greatest hits. I was like, they've been putting stuff out like every year also. Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. All 4 together right now.
They added Young.
Yep.
Weren't enough before. Guys, we really just need one more boy.
Let's look at this Rat album artwork. It is
Reach
interesting.
Sky. That's not very good. Huh.
Yeah. I don't like the color.
I'm not even really sure what I'm looking at.
Yeah, me neither. That's why I was like, I don't...
Dawkin, Beast from the East. Just so racist. Love it, though. Wet. Coming back.
REM had their first greatest
Milli
hits,
Vanilli.
and also put out an album. Who? Milli Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli. It's their greatest. They were famously busted for lip syncing. They were the famous one for that. Journey's greatest hits. This is the one I had. Aerosmith, having released Rocks, have now graduated to releasing Gems. Kiss released Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits.
We got a Fleetwood Mac greatest hits, and then a Pink Floyd live album.
Delicate Sound of Thunder.
My Bloody Valentine with their debut studio album. We had an EP in previous years. Guns N' Roses, GNR Lies, their second album.
Yeah. Yep, that was the follow-up. That's it.
Yep,
it's moving to 89.
Final year of the 80s. All right. Right off the bat, a Rush live album. Lou Reed with his 15th.
The annual Oingo Boingo.
Oh, dude, Skid Row debut. We were just talking about this before we went on. And that one is self-titled.
Look at the David Crosby, Oh Yes I Can, his second solo. Look at that album, Marty. He looks so funny.
Oh, I love that.
He looks like someone who'd be running like a general store in a western town.
It looks like the left side of his mustache is just way longer than the other side.
He's the guy that walks out, what can I get for you? I've been running this store since my daddy's daddy.
You're not wrong about that. Goodness gracious. He looks like he would
Skid
have
Row's
manners.
Debut.
Yep.
89. You're right. We were talking about that before we jumped on. Hey, Warrant. They're another band that came in on the back end of everything.
I forgot about Warrant.
And you know what? This album's amazing. It's Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich is the name of it. So they were another... It's actually funny. A lot of the glam bands that came in on the very tail end of glam were like the best ones. Because this album is amazing. It's got some really good songs on it. Heaven, which was a big hit. Down Boys is my favorite. Like,
They just let the
Just
other
really good
bands
stuff.
make the mistakes, and then they learned from them, coming in a little later.
Yeah, like Warren and Skid Row were probably two of the better glam metal bands, I would say.
All right.
George Strait.
Meshuggah with their debut.
Is that their debut? Nice.
Yep.
That's early. I didn't realize they were coming that early. Metal Church.
Bob Dylan and the Grateful Dead, Dylan and Dead, a live album.
The Goo Goo Dolls' second studio album. Have you heard early Goo Goo Dolls?
Dude, I didn't even know their first came out. How do we miss that? And
it wasn't listed,
I was just playing drums
early
to
Goo Goo
Iris
Dolls,
the other day.
Before they turned into like pretty boy sensitive rock, they were just straight up like savage punk.
Oh, that's awesome.
You got to go listen to it. It's just like horribly recorded, like really fast, aggressive punk.
Dude, that reminds me of like I always tell you with Sugar Ray. Like outside of their like radio like hits, they're just like hard rock, like super hard, like punky kind of rock. It just they sound
That's
like
awesome.
two different bands, dude.
Dream Theater's debut, When Dream and Day Unite.
Nice. That's
This
a big
album,
one.
from what I remember, not very good.
Right before that, also De La Soul with his debut.
There you go.
Oh, another good one.
Milli Vanilli again, girl, you know it's true. Depeche Mode. Oh, Extreme with their first album, Extreme. Another one of the great like glam rock bands that came out at the very end. These guys were like they were one of the best for sure. Like all those guys can play, dude. Mother Love Bone. That is they're from Seattle. They're the seeds of what would become the grunge scene is Mother Love Bone. So the singer for that band ended up dying of a heroin overdose, and all the band members kind of split and made new bands. And those new bands they made were like Soundgarden, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice, like all the biggest ones.
Gotcha.
Madonna, Like a Prayer. And if it wasn't the guys in Mother Love Bone, it was like, Friends and everyone in that scene was real tight from what I understand. White Zombie, they're second.
Oh, nice. Actually, skipped over that.
I'm down into April now. The Cult with probably their biggest, Sonic Temple.
All right. Yep. I'm down there too.
Also, Garth Brooks' debut. That's pretty big.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that is big.
Great White's biggest one of their career. Once Bitten, Twice Shy. The album's just called Twice Shy. Black Sabbath, Headless Cross. I love that album. It's when they have Dio's gone. Glenn Hughes is gone. They get another singer called Tony Martin for a little while. Can't find his stuff anywhere on like streaming services. It's probably on YouTube. But I had it for a while before the streaming services, and I really love listening to the Tony Martin Black Sabbath. Headless Cross being a really good one.
Oh, dude. Down here later April, Tom Petty, just his solo album, Full Moon Fever.
That's one of his biggest with Free Fallin' and stuff, right?
Yep. Free Fallin', I Won't Back Down, Running Down a Dream. Yeah, that's a good one. Great album.
And then Richard Marx releases his, I think it's his second, and it has a lot of his biggest songs, including Right Here Waiting. This one reached number one. That album did.
Dude, we got a Green Day debut EP, 1,000 Hours.
Nice. Starting to show up.
Moving into May now. Barry Manilow.
Fish. It's their debut studio album. It was self-released, no support from a record label.
Good for them.
It was sold at concerts only. Dangerous Toys, their debut. I've heard good things from them. I believe they were like kind of a glammy metal band, but they were not from LA, Texas. So they were kind of outside of the scene a little bit. Badlands, that's a really good album. It's like kind of a super group.
That one's debut. Okay.
They only had two, I think, and it's really good, but it's, again, hard to find some of these. Doobie Brothers dropped Cycles. Remember that one?
Yep, they had 10th. That. I believe they had a long break, and then this one came out.
Yep.
After they got back together.
Queen drops The Miracle. That's their 13th. This was the band's. Okay, yeah.
Ramones, another Stevie Nicks solo album. Dolly Parton with another one showing up now.
There's a band that's shown up a few times that I haven't brought up, but now I'm going to bring up. They're just called Sodom.
Sodom. Oh, no.
German thrash metal band.
Why does that not surprise me at all?
Paul McCartney, Flowers in the Dirt. Peter Gabriel, Passion. Stevie Ray Vaughan releases In Step. That's a huge one for him. Love that one. Jackson Browne's 9th. Nirvana released Bleach. That's their debut. So, Nirvana's coming to the scene in 89. That's crazy.
Their debu's a bigger one, right?
The Offspring debut as well.
Okay.
This was re-released again in 1995. And then Prince, Batman. That's a collaboration you didn't think was coming.
I was like, I have never heard of that. I didn't know it was a soundtrack. That's cool.
So he involved on also Mr. Big debut album, another great band that came too late. Or too late to miss kind of the big glam scene. And they also weren't that glam. And Paul Gilbert was in that band and Billy Sheehan. So they were a little bit different. Faith No More's 3rd, The Real Thing. That's a really cool one.
David Hasselhoff with his 3rd. Can't believe he even made it that far.
Again. Yeah. I'm not done.
Nuts.
Danger, their debut. Glam metal. A lot of glam metal.
Ooh, Don Henley.
Trying to capitalize on that scene, huh?
Don Henley with his 3rd solo.
I think this is the one that Axl Rose sang with him on a song. I just can't remember the name of the song. Yeah, I Will Not Go Quietly. That's the name of the song, featuring Axl Rose.
Right. I think I'm good to move into July now. We wrap this up. And I'm not seeing a whole lot right away.
This one's going on 2 hours.
Yeah, I know. The 80s are just chocked full of so much stuff.
So much stuff. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Mother's Milk. They're still
not.
The 90s are coming. Just hang in there, bud.
Yeah, I know, right? We're going to get there. Look, I like
Don't give up.
The rose right there kind of hints at the Blood Sugar Sex Magic, I feel like. But, all right.
Enough's Enough. Their debut. Another glam metal band. A lot of these glam metal bands came too late. There we go. Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood. They finally sobered up.
They put it together.
Giant. It's a good one.
Listened to something by Giant before.
Steve Lukather releases their first. Yeah, I've sent you some Giant stuff.
That's what it is. You've sent it to me.
So Dan Huff is the main guy in Giant. Plays guitar and sings, and he produced like Rascal Flatts and a bunch of other people. All right, moving on. Soundgarden, Louder Than Love. They're 2nd.
Nice.
Another Faster Pussycat. Aerosmith's Pump. I remember that one.
Mick Jones. Aerosmith Pump.
Liza
I gotta look at the
Minnelli's
cover.
9th.
Okay, yeah, I know that one.
Lenny Kravitz, Let Love Rule. That's his debut.
Let's go. Love me some Lenny Kravitz. Tears for Fears with a 3rd album. Okay.
Some good stuff there. I'm in October now. We get Crossroads by Tracy Chapman. I think that has... does not have Give Me One Reason, but it does have Crossroads, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Ice-T. More Ace Frehley down here. His 2nd full-length album. Lately, Ace Frehley and Paul Stanley have been kind of trading words in the press. It's kind of funny to watch.
Billy Joel with his 11th. Kiss with another, with their 15th. Right after that.
Selena's self-titled debut.
Nine Inch Nails debut as well. Pretty Hate Machine.
That's I think one of their biggest ones.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole bunch that's jumping out to me here.
Primus released a live album called Suck on This.
Queen Latifah's debut. All Hail the Queen.
Rush, Presto, Whitesnake, Slip of the Tongue. That's another good one. Followed up to that 87 one. I've kind of gone through the end here. I don't see anything else jumping out at me.
Yeah, I don't really Monty Python, interesting. Yeah, I think that wraps it up. I think 87 just takes it, man.
I think 87 takes it. A lot of big stuff that year. Well, let's bring it home. That was a monster episode. That's 3 hours we spent in the 80s. A little over 3 hours, I think.
Right? I mean, the 80s were definitely a heyday.
A little under.
Little under? Yeah. All right, I'm excited for the 90s, but thank you everybody for joining us. This has been wrapping up the 80s, 87 taking the crown, and it will move on to the finalists whenever we get to that episode when we finish.
Yep.
The 90s.
So the 90s, I think we're going to see a lot of change between the beginning and the end of the 90s. So that'll be interesting.
And then
the beginning of the 90s, I feel like is very much still kind of 80s, but the end of the 90s is that's a totally different thing.
Completely different music scene.
So far we have from the 60s, 1965, from the 70s, 1976, and from the 80s today, 1987. So we got to get through 3 more decades, 90s, thousands, and tens. And we'll see you guys then. See you next week.